All right, it was 1989 in Phoenix, Arizona. I was in 6th grade, and I played the flute. I got straight A's, and I wore these gigantic glasses that helped fix my terrible astigmatism. And basically, I'd grown up my whole life being a really good girl, following the rules, because that's what I figured was the best way for me to get the love and attention that I craved so much. But in 6th grade, self-awareness started to kick in, and I started realizing that who I was, this goody-two-shoes, was a real hit with the adults, but not so much with my peers. And honestly, I was slipping into the nerd category, and that was really stressing me out as a 6th grader. So I wanted to start connecting with a different kind of crowd, a cooler crowd. And the ringleader of this one particular crowd was named Lisa O'Connor. And she was this half-Irish, half-Japanese badass. She had bangs that are hairsprayed up to here, and pegged blue jeans and baggy t-shirts. And you know what? She didn't get overly excited about reading out loud in class. She didn't have a collection of 200 unsharpened pencils. Basically, she was everything I was not. And I wanted to be her friend, and I wanted to just ride her coattails straight out of the nerd zone. So I started mimicking Lisa and some of her friends, right? I did crazy things to my bangs. I stopped wearing so much neon pink. And I was changing, but I was starting to fit in. One day, Lisa asked me if I wanted to go with her to Great Skate. It was the local roller skating rink for their teens-only skate party that night, and I was thrilled. Of course I wanted to go there with her, but it cost $8, $10 if we wanted nachos. And we didn't have that kind of money. And times were tight, and so our parents couldn't give that to us, so we were on our own. So we started brainstorming, and Lisa came up with an idea. Let's sell Girl Scout cookies. I wasn't a Girl Scout. Lisa wasn't a Girl Scout. We didn't have Girl Scout uniforms or supplies, no knowledge of Girl Scout protocol, and most importantly, no Girl Scout cookies. But this did not faze Lisa. She just rolled her eyes and was like, we're just gonna pretend to be Girl Scouts. We go around to your neighbors and we have them prepay for cookies that we'll deliver in a week. I knew Lisa was talking about scamming my neighbors, which was stealing, which was wrong. It was so wrong. I didn't believe in stealing. But it was so exciting to be involved in the scheme of a cool person. I was torn. I thought about what it would be like to go to Great Skate later that night with Lisa. I mean, we'd backwards skate to Paula Abdul, complain about our blisters, maybe kiss some boys. Well, probably not that, but it would seal our friendship forever. So even though I was terrified, quaking in my little jelly sandals, I put on a brave face and I said, yes, let's pretend to be Girl Scouts. Our plan was to go around my neighborhood, which I'd lived in for a long time. I knew all the people there, go door to door and take pre-orders on cookies. All a person had to do was give us a donation and tell us what kind of cookies they wanted, and we'd write that information down on a yellow legal pad and tell them their cookies would be delivered in a week. Then we'd take that money and put it in our official collection container, which was a Folgers coffee can surrounded with construction paper, and we'd have our $8. We went to our first house. It was a little grandma named Pauline, and I'd known her for about 6 years, and I was practically hyperventilating as I stood next to Lisa and she gave her spiel. And when she was done, Pauline looked us up and down, and up and down, and I wanted to turn and run until she pulled out her wallet, pulled out $1, and said, put me down for Thin Mints. What? I couldn't believe it. It was exciting, but it was also terrifying. And I told Lisa, I can't swindle any more of my neighbors face to face. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna provide intelligence. I'm just gonna point you to the nicest, most generous neighbors I have, and you go up and do your spiel, and I'll scooter off around the block. And I did that, and my heart was racing, and I thought for sure someone was gonna call us out on our bullshit. I mean, who sells Girl Scout cookies with no uniforms, a legal pad, and a Folgers coffee can, and no cookies? But people were giving us money and putting their orders on our list, orders they would never, ever see. We took a break in the middle of the park, in a park in the middle of my neighborhood, and counted our money, and we were pretty close. We were almost there, and we talked about what we would wear that night, our acid-wash jeans, and which boys might be there, hopefully Justin and Jeremy. And I was kind of like getting into the swindling thing. And I sent Lisa to the home of Danielle Spencer, an extremely generous neighbor, and I stayed in the park and waited. And I was recounting our money when I noticed my mom's red Nissan Sentra rolling down the street. And she came by and I smiled, and she smiled, and I waved, and she waved, and she just drove on by. I was like, oh, thank God, she does not suspect a thing. And then her car came rolling backwards, window rolled down. She looked at me and said, I just saw Lisa O'Connor at Danielle Spencer's house. What is she doing there? Shanna, tell me right now. Oh, Lisa knows her. Shanna, Lisa's mom knows her. Don't lie to me. I'm not lying. What is that Folgers coffee can? I don't know. I can tell you're lying. I'd spent my whole life being a good girl telling the truth. I wasn't used to this kind of behavior. And I wanted to tell the truth, but I couldn't give up on Lisa. I couldn't just throw her under the bus like that. She said, Shanna, if you don't tell me right now, I'm going to go to Danielle Spencer's house myself and ask her what's going on. Lisa's going around the neighborhood pretending to be a Girl Scout, getting money. It's all her idea. I threw her under the bus so fast. At that moment, Lisa comes running back from Danielle's house with the remaining money in her hand. She saw me talking to my mom, turned, and bolted. Well, I went home. My parents decided that our punishment would be to go back around the neighborhood to all the neighbors, explain what we'd done, and apologize. I was devastated. I mean, I'd known these people a long time. We waited for Lisa's mom to bring her over to act in the punishment, but she just never did. She was, I guess, a little bit of a deadbeat mom. I don't know. And they thought maybe I should do the punishment myself, which was devastating. But thank God they changed their mind. They did. They decided I would only be grounded. I had to donate the money to charity. And I stopped trying to be so cool. I embraced my inner nerd, and I knew I would never, ever steal again. Thank you.